This book is from almost 100 years ago. It is called Snipp, Snapp, Snurr, and the Yellow Sled. If your name is Christine, or Anna, or Mitch, or if your family has a set of triplets, or if you know people who are part of a set of triplets, this would be a fun book for you. But it was written for everybody. The author is Maj Lindman. She's from Sweden. She called her sets of triplets, the boys are Snipp, Snapp, Snurr, and she has girls who are Flicka, Rika, and Dika. This one is about the yellow sled. Snipp, Snapp, and Snurr, the three little boys who lived in Sweden, were on their way home from school one winter afternoon. It was snowing hard. Each boy had on his warmest red cap and red sweater and high brown boots. As they passed the shop window, Snipp said, "Look at that bright yellow sled." Snipp, Snapp, and Snurr moved close to the window. "It's as yellow as gold," said Snapp. "It is long enough for three boys just our size to ride on at the very same time," said Snurr. "Look at that steering wheel. Couldn't we have fun?" Snipp and Snapp said nothing. The three boys stood looking in the window, each wishing for the bright yellow sled more than for anything else in the world. As they turned away from the window and walked slowly down the street, Snapp said, "Let's ask Father to buy it for us." "You know it would cost a great deal," said Snipp. "Just think how much money he spent for these new boots he bought for us last week." "No, we'd better ask Mother to help us earn it," said Snurr. Snipp and Snapp stood a moment thinking. "That's a good idea," said Snapp. "Let's hurry home and ask her," said Snipp. Snipp, Snapp, and Snurr ran home. They ran into the house and straight through to the kitchen, where they found Mother drying dishes. "Mother dear, we have seen a bright yellow sled," said Snipp. "It is as yellow as gold," said Snapp. "It has a steering wheel," said Snurr, "and it is long enough for three boys just our size to ride on at the same time." "Oh, how nice," said Mother. Then she smiled. "We thought perhaps you could tell us a way to earn it," said Snipp. Mother thought a moment. Then she said, "If you will help me in every way you can for 2 weeks, I am sure Father and I will feel that you have earned what the sled will cost." After a long talk, it was decided that Snipp should be the first one to get up each morning to put on the tea kettle. Early the next morning, Snipp yawned, stretched, and hopped out of bed. He ran to the kitchen and put the tea kettle on, thinking all the while about the bright yellow sled. Snipp, Snapp, and Snurr hurried home from school the next afternoon. Each of the boys was ready to help Mother in any way he could. Snipp sat down to pare the potatoes. Snapp went to the store with the big market basket to buy all the things on the list that Mother gave him. Snurr stood stirring the soup on the stove so that it would not burn. "How glad I am that Snapp has gone to the store," said Mother. "Now I won't have to go out." As she spoke, Snapp came in the door. The basket he carried was full of packages: tea, sugar, butter, salt. All that Mother had on the list was in the basket. He carried a loaf of bread under his left arm. "When we get the bright yellow sled, we can bring the groceries home on it," said Snapp. "This basket is heavy." Early Saturday morning, Mother asked Snurr to scrub the back stairs. He filled the pail with warm water. He found a large cake of yellow soap. He took the scrubbing brush with the longest handle. Then he started up the back stairs. Perhaps the pail was too full. Perhaps the soap slipped out of his hand, and he tried to catch it. Perhaps he only stumbled over the long handle of the brush. But down the stairs he tumbled, soap, water, and brush all making a loud clatter as he fell. Mother said only, "Never mind, Snurr. All things are hard in the beginning." Snapp said, "The stairs have to be wet anyway, so your work is half done." Snipp helped him wipe the stairs dry after they were scrubbed clean. That afternoon Mother said, "Please dust the books in the library. First, take each book down from the shelf, wipe it carefully with this clean, soft cloth. When the shelves are empty, dust them. Be sure the shelves are clean. Then put each book back on the shelf." "Oh, what fun!" said Snapp as he began handing down the books from the highest shelves to Snipp. Mother left them dusting books and talking about the bright yellow sled while she went to tea with friends. When she came home at nearly sunset, she found books everywhere. There were piles of books on the floor and piles of books on the tables and chairs. Snipp lay flat on the floor reading. Snapp stood near the table reading. Snurr sat on the ladder reading. Snipp and Snapp put the books back on the shelves the next afternoon. Snurr washed the brown stockings that the three boys always wore with their high brown boots. He found the stockings were dirty and muddy. He found holes in many of them. "My, I didn't know there were so many stockings," said Snurr to himself. "I can't get them clean." Soon Snurr got the washboard. He used plenty of soap. He rubbed the stockings hard, up and down, up and down. He rubbed them on the right side, then he turned them and washed them carefully on the wrong side. Then he washed out all the soap and water and hung them up to dry. "I must tell Snipp and Snapp not to get mud on their stockings," said he to himself. The very first day of the week was Mother's birthday. Snipp, Snapp, and Snurr hurried home from school. Mother had friends visiting with her. Snipp hurried out to the flower shop to buy flowers for Mother's birthday. Snapp put the tea kettle on to serve tea for Mother and her friends. Snurr placed the birthday cake, which Father had brought home the night before, on the cake plate. "We'll go in now to wish Mother happy birthday," said Snipp. "You go first with the flowers," said Snapp to Snipp. "I'll come next with the tea. Snurr can carry the birthday cake." Snipp opened the door. "Happy birthday, Mother," said the three little boys. This is indeed a happy birthday," replied Mother. One bright winter morning, Mother said, "There is no school today. You boys have helped me in every way I have asked. You have earned the yellow sled. Shall we go to the store for it today?" "Oh, yes, let's," said Snipp. "That's fine, Mother," said Snapp. "Thank you," Snurr remembered to say. Mother put on her green hat and coat. The three boys put on their warmest red caps and red sweaters. Of course, they wore their high boots. Then they all went out of the house and down the street to the shop where they had seen the bright yellow sled in the window. When they reached the store, Mother went in. Snipp, Snapp, and Snurr stood outside, looking in the window. "Just think, it's ours," said Snipp. "Won't we have fun?" asked Snapp. "It's worth all the work we did to earn it," said Snurr. Suddenly the boys heard a sound. "What was that?" asked Snurr. The three boys turned. Near the window stood a very little boy. He was crying. "What's the matter, little boy?" asked Snipp. "Oh, I want that sled so very much," he sobbed. I've never had a sled." "Won't your father buy you a sled?" asked Snapp. "I have no father," answered the very little boy, "and my mother has no money." Snipp turned to Snapp and Snurr. "What about giving him our yellow sled?" he asked. "He's too little to earn a sled. I know Mother would help us earn another," said Snapp. Mother came out of the shop. She carried the sled, the bright yellow sled, in her arms. "Here is your sled, Snip, Snap, and Snurr," said she. The boys looked at each other. Then Snip said, "Mother, we are big boys." "Yes," said Snap, "we are big boys, and we have learned to work." "Mother," said Snurr, "may we work to earn another sled? We should like to give ours to this little boy." When Mother understood, she went with them to the top of a snowy hill. Snip, Snap, and Snurr helped the very little boy get on the sled. Then Snap gave him a push, and away down the snowy hill he went on the bright yellow sled. What fun they had on the hillside! "Thank you, oh, thank you," said the very little boy after every ride. "My brothers and sisters thank you too. We will have such good times. This bright yellow sled is the most wonderful thing we've ever had." At last the three boys and Mother went home. Snip began to scrub the porch. Snapp put on the tea kettle and set the table. Snurr found the duster and dustcloth. Each boy went to work to earn a second bright yellow sled. For the next 2 weeks, when the three little boys were doing all the things that Mother asked, one would say to the other, "Do you remember how happy the very little boy looked on his bright yellow sled?" And Snip, Snap, and Snurr were happy too. The end. Maj Lindman had a long career as an author of books for young readers. Dozens and dozens of books, most of them about Flicka, Rika, Dika, or about Snip, Snap, and Snurr. If you enjoy her books, they're not hard to find. This story has been Snip, Snap, Snurr, and the Yellow Sled, written and illustrated by Maj Lindman.